It was known as the trial of the century. The prosecution of O.J. Simpson for the murders of his ex-wife, Nicole Brown, and her friend, Ron Goldman. There is renewed attention now, partly because of the FX Network miniseries, The People versus O.J. Simpson, American Crime Story, but also because of the recent discovery of a knife that was found buried on Simpson's property.
So back in 1994, when O.J. Simpson went on trial, Christopher Darden was tapped for the prosecution team, but many in the black community labeled him a traitor. His daughter, Jenee Darden, was 15 years old at the time, and she says she remembers the trial well and the impact it had on not just her, but her family, the community. And today in the 4x4, we are taking 4 minutes during the 4 to talk to Jenee Darden about what it was like to be so close to the trial and still, many years later, the impact it still has today.
Jenee, thanks for joining us. And I'm curious, so you were in Oakland during this trial?
Yes.
Right? You're 15 years old. You're going to high school. What was life for you before the trial started in Oakland and life after the trial concluded?
So before the trial, it was very simple. It was just regular, everyday teenager. I was 15. I liked TLC, Boys to Men,
right.
Like watching X-Men cartoons, just a normal everyday thing. Then once the trial started, we had paparazzi coming to the house, calling the house. My father received death threats. We had to warn my school, my high school, just St. Elizabeth High School. We had to warn them to make sure that they watched over me. So it completely changed.
What about you? During the trial, were you ever attacked?
I wasn't ever like physically attacked.
Right.
There were incidents. One incident.
Or verbally.
Yeah, verbally. There was sometimes I got dirty looks. There was one incident where one of the students came up to me and told me my father was Uncle Tom and a traitor. But luckily, for the most part, even though a lot of the students, because I went to a predominantly black and Latino high school, so even though a lot of the students did side with the defense, they supported me and they wanted to make sure I was safe too as well.
Well, take us back though, 15 years old, that we all remember. I mean, you're just trying to go to school, get good grades, maybe talk to the cute boy. I mean, you're just trying to be a 15-year-old.
Right.
What was it like for you in your circle of friends? Did you have your girls that supported you? Did you lose friends? Take us there. What was it like as just a teenager?
Yeah, and I had friends, and they were very, very supportive, and they were very protective over me. There was an incident one time when I came to school because I was in a tabloid, so one of my aunts sold my photo, my winter ball photo, to a tabloid, which just kind of tells you how celebrity culture was back then.
Right.
That the fact that my winter ball picture was worth something. And so I came to school and I saw everybody huddled around reading the article. So it was kind of weird in that respect because I said I don't really have anything interesting going on.
What was the relationship between you and your father at the time of the trial? Did you guys often talk during that trial?
We did, because he would call and check up on us just to make sure we were okay, and I would see things on the news because I was in school during the trial, so when I came home I would see the recaps of what happened, and so I would call and check up on him just because of the tensions and everything he was going through, and he was being followed.
And what was his reaction to those tensions? What did he tell you on those nights on the phone?
He tried to make it seem like he was okay and that he was handling things very well and that he was very strong because he didn't want me to be worried about him, but I was still worried about him. So
fast forward, Jenee, all these years later, this fascination with the FX series that's now running, we all know how the story ends, but still, I mean, people are tweeting about it, talking about it. I read in the article that you wrote, you asked your dad, Dad, are you going to watch this? What was his answer, and are you watching it?
His answer was no, because he said he lived it, and he didn't want to relive it again. And I'm watching. I'm actually.
Why? Why are you watching it?
Well, I watched it because of Sterling Brown, who plays my father. He actually has a Bay Area connection. He's a Stanford alum. And so I watched it because he sided with the defense at the time. And when he got the role, he looked at my father's book, and he things my father went through. So he was able to kind of be open-minded when he took on this role. And that's the only reason why I watched it.
Did he nail it? Do you think he did a good job?
He's pretty close. He sounds just like him.
Okay.
And he looks a lot like them. So he definitely did a very, very close job of really getting him.
And your father hasn't snuck a peek at all? I mean, I know he said no at the beginning of the miniseries, but here we are, it's about to conclude.
He snuck a peek during an interview. He's done one interview, and he snuck a peek during the interview, and that was it. But that's it. He's not watching. He's not watching.
Jenee, I wanted to read something that you wrote. You said, I understood why many black people, especially black people in Los Angeles, supported Simpson. I remember the beating of Rodney King and the shooting death of Latasha Harlins, 15, over a bottle of orange juice. Like today, black folks were tired of racially motivated killings. Still, it hurt to see my father, a proud black man who encouraged me to embrace my heritage, be called a traitor. Wow, it seems like even then you understood what was going on.
Yes.
You got it.
Yes, I did. You know, I mean, people have the right to their opinions, and as an African-American community, we do share things in common, but we're also not a monolith. So, and I recognize that was a lesson I learned definitely from the trial, and that people have the right to have their own opinions.
What's
So,
a lesson your father learned that he's told you?
wow. So many, I guess. I mean, we didn't expect this to come, so it's not necessarily lessons he told me, but just to see how he was able to rebound from this. And so I'm even learning more from the TV show. It's not 100% accurate, but I'm almost his age of when he was in the trial. So I'm learning more about him as far as how he was able to rebound from this.
It also struck me, you wrote about, in the end, we watched this miniseries. Some of us remember where we were when it happened, and OJ, did he do it? Chris Darden, how could he be on the other side?
Right.
But in the end, 2 people were murdered.
Right.
And you wrote about that in your article.
Yeah, because I think that's what we forgot, and even with this miniseries, because the drama is just so juicy. And same thing with the trial is that it unfortunately overshadows that this is a murder trial. I tell people that, I said, this is a murder trial. People were killed.
Did you ever, go ahead. Yeah.
So whether you agree with, whether OJ was guilty or not, just remember that people lost someone. There were lives lost.
Did you ever have that conversation? Did you ever have your own verdict back when you were a teenager, and has that changed since you've become a grown woman working?
No, I still feel O.J. Simpson's guilty. So,
yeah.
But like I said again, for me, my heart goes out to the people who lost, lost loved ones. O.J. Simpson had children, and Nicole Brown had children. Ron Goldman, the father. I mean, he lost a son. So.
Wow. All right, Jenee
Darden. Fred Goldman, excuse me.
Fred,
yes.
Thank you for sharing your story with us. Your article is a great read.
And you have your own blog, too.
Yes, our blog is cocofly.com, and I tweet every Tuesday at cocofly. I do live tweets of the show. So I answer people's questions.
Okay, cocofly.com.
COCOA fly.com.
Love it. Get it out there. All right, Jenee, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.